Do you want to work in Europe, but you're not sure what kind of job you can get? Listen in as I cover the top jobs in Europe for US citizens. These are the roles where you'll have the best chance of getting hired. Hey there, if you're new here, my name is Seppi, rhymes with Peppy, from SheHitRefresh.com. I help women age 30 and over break free from a life of routine to travel the world long term or move abroad. Back in 2015, I made my own move from Texas to Spain, and it's been more than 7 years, and I am still here living my best life. If you're here, you're probably looking to do something similar, so I want to thank you so much for stopping by my channel. On this channel, I talk about moving abroad specifically for US citizens. I'd love to invite you to like this video, turn on notifications, and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on any future move abroad content. All right, so you want to work in Europe. Well, I am going to start by telling you that getting hired in Europe as a US citizen is not an easy feat. But it's definitely not impossible. You just need to know where the jobs are, and you can check out my video on that. But more importantly, you need to know what kind of jobs are in demand. But before we jump into that, I just want to give my weekly shout out. So this comment comes from Sigma Alpha Omega Cancer, who commented on my short about moving to Georgia and how you don't need a visa to live there. And they say Georgia is not in Europe. So we had a few comments there debating whether Georgia, the country, is a part of Europe or not. I want to thank you so much for commenting, and I would love to hear from the viewers out there. What do you think? If you'd like to be my next shout out, be sure to drop a comment or question below, and you never know, you might be the next shout out that I choose. All right, without further ado, let's jump into this list of top jobs for US citizens who want to work in Europe. Number 1 on the list is information technology. So you probably already knew this, but jobs in the tech sector are always in demand all around the world. And most tech companies are dealing with labor shortages, especially when it comes to women in tech, and especially women of color in tech. So right now, tech companies are either filling up positions that were closed during the pandemic or beefing up their tech capacities as more industries shift to digital environments. So it's actually a really great time to be looking for a tech job in Europe. So tech is a broad term, but let's look at some of those roles that fall under this umbrella that are in demand. So software developers and engineers are on the list, and growing sectors like cybersecurity, data science, cloud computing, UX design, and AI and Internet of Things are hot fields to look into. Next on the list is project management. So there was already high demand for project managers before the pandemic, but since then, it has grown even more so because companies are either recovering or reinventing themselves for this digital age. Project managers, or PMs, are jobs that are usually in the top 10 of job openings in countries like the UK, France, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Luxembourg. So what exactly does a project manager do? They're responsible for planning, organizing, and managing the completion of a project. PMs are highly sought after in the tech and energy industry, but they're also needed in sectors like construction and manufacturing. Competition is tough, so make sure you either have a master's degree or certificates like your PMP or Prince 2 training. Real-world experience also goes a long way, and of course, fluency in the language of the country that you're looking for work will also help your application. Number 3 on the list is one of my favorites, and that's digital marketing. So back in 2016, I was actually able to score a work visa sponsorship in Spain because of my marketing background. I was hired at a Spanish startup to join their digital marketing team. According to the European Commission, there's actually a digital skills gap in Europe that they're trying to bridge. However, until they can close that gap, this fact actually works in your favor if you're a US citizen, because companies are going to have to turn to foreign talent to fill certain roles. So what kind of roles can you find under digital marketing? Well, that's going to be everything from social media managers to SEO specialists, email marketers, content managers, brand specialists, data analysts, community managers, and much, much more. Tech companies are always a great place to look, and there's tons of tech hubs in Europe, including in Amsterdam, Berlin, Copenhagen, Dublin, Frankfurt, London, Madrid, Manchester, Munich, Paris, and Stuttgart. So if you're looking to find work in Europe and you're a US citizen, why not take a look at number 4 here, and that is education. So the US isn't the only country that's facing a teacher shortage. There's actually a lot of countries in Europe that are also facing that too. Just some stats that I found are that experts predict that there's going to be a shortfall of 25,000 teachers in Germany and 30,000 in Portugal by 2025. Even today, France has 4,000 vacant teaching posts that cannot be filled by the local workforce. And you know what? These figures are just going to grow because a lot of teachers in Europe are facing retirement soon. In countries like Italy and Portugal, more than half of all teachers are 50 years old and above. So if you're a teacher in the US and looking to get out, I don't blame you. And the good news is that there's a lot of jobs for you here in Europe. Let's first talk about public schools. So getting a job in a public school is actually going to be a little bit challenging because there are local certifications and exams that you would need to pass to be able to be considered for these roles. And to pass those tests, it can take a few years to do that. Plus, depending on where you're looking to move, you might actually need to know the local language. However, a great place to look is at international schools because there's a lot of English-speaking jobs that are much easier to qualify for there. If you want to see what open roles are out there, check out the TES or TES, I'm not really sure how to say it, site where you can see what open roles there are at different international schools around the world. I'll drop the link below. Now, in addition to international schools, let's say you don't have qualifications to teach, but you're interested in doing so, there are some English teaching programs in Europe that you can easily qualify for if you just have a degree. And I'll drop a link below to a program that I did in Spain that is one of the most popular programs for US citizens who want to move to Spain. And I just want to state that the education industry is not just limited to classroom teaching, because there's also demand for curriculum developers, experts in early childhood education, special needs and inclusive education, and of course, school administrators. Next on the list, we have tourism. Now, tourism is a major market for work in Europe because after all, Europe is the world's most popular tourism region. Around 745 million visitors each year come to Europe, and that's about 2/3 of all of global travel. And that does not even include Europeans who are traveling within Europe. So there is a lot of demand here for tourism. And what's great about the tourism industry is that it's so diverse. There are so many jobs that can match your skill set and background. So aside from those who have a degree in hotel and restaurant management, there are also a lot of openings for chefs, translators, reception and customer service, tour guides, public relations, service crews, and so much more. Number 6 on the list is governmental and non-governmental organizations. So think United Nations or NATO or any other international organization that can assign you to their offices in Europe. So a lot of these jobs are going to require that you have a background in international relations or social work or even a specialization relevant to the project that you're looking for, but not all of them do. You're going to find also general job openings such as project managers, coordinators, and even a lot of jobs in IT. I'll drop some links below that'll give you some information on how to find a government job overseas, as well as information on becoming a foreign service officer. Next up, we have finance and accounting. So if you work in finance, there are specific countries in Europe that you should be targeting. Switzerland is at the top of the list here because the Swiss have been hiring foreign talent for finance for such a long time, and also English is widely spoken in Switzerland. Another country to look at is the UK. Now, the UK has a very robust financial and banking market, and actually because of Brexit, they have faced a labor shortage. So that might actually help you a bit if you're a US citizen to find a job in the UK. Other countries to look at are the Netherlands. They are a very fast-growing hub in the financial sector, as well as Sweden, Norway, Finland, and Denmark. Now, if you're an accountant or interested in getting into accounting, Ireland is a country that you should definitely check out. Due to a shortage of professionals, you can get paid very well in Ireland, and there's lots of bonuses and additional perks that may be thrown into your package as well. Be sure to check out my blog post where you can find more information on how to find work in Ireland as an accountant and other professions as well. Last but not least on our list of the top jobs in Europe for US citizens is healthcare. So I've been mentioning labor shortages left and right here, and healthcare actually falls under another one of the sectors where Europe is facing those labor shortages. So similar to what I said about the education industry in certain countries, more than half of all healthcare workers are expected to leave or retire from their positions very soon. And that's going to open up about 11 million job openings. And in addition to that, just like in other places in the world, demand for jobs in the healthcare sector are growing due to aging populations, an increase in chronic conditions, and just a higher awareness of health and wellness. So if you have a medical, pharmaceutical, or healthcare background, then you may be able to find an into Europe this way. So many hospitals and wellness facilities are actually open to sponsoring work visas as long as you meet their criteria. And of course, that's going to differ from place to place. So some of the best places to look for these kind of jobs in Europe is going to be through medical staffing agencies, as well as checking out foreign or multinational pharmaceutical or biomedical companies. You can also check out US military bases abroad because there's tons of jobs there. I'll drop a link to that below. And of course, like I mentioned before, intergovernmental organizations like the United Nations and NGOs, organizations like Doctors Without Borders and Care International are great places to look, and I'll drop links to those below as well. And adding on to some of the backgrounds that I just mentioned, there are also job openings in the medical research and technology sector for pharmacists, engineers, epidemiologists, and analysts who can really push forward new products and breakthroughs. And last but not least, if you are a nurse or a travel nurse, there are also options to do travel nursing internationally as well. All right, we did it. Now, like I said before, getting hired in Europe as a US citizen definitely is not easy, but it's not impossible. Hey, I was able to do it, and now you have a list here of different sectors that you can focus on and target when looking for roles in Europe. If you need more resources to help you with your move to Europe, please check out my digital book, I'm Outta Here, an American's Ultimate Visa Guide to Living in Europe. In this book, I go over the 18 easiest countries to move to in Europe for US citizens based on viable visa options. You'll find over 50 different visa options out there for you. And if you need more personalized help with your move abroad, I would love to work with you. You can check out my new Move Abroad Bootcamp, where we can work together in a group capacity, or I also offer one-on-one consultations. And if you're a woman aged 30 and over, please join my Facebook group where you can meet thousands of other women who are also looking to move abroad or have done so already. You'll find tons of inspiration, support, and resources to help you with your own move abroad. And last but not least, if you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, turn on notifications, and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on any future move abroad content.